design factors. Oh, paper is bad. Microclimate is very, very important. As you can see, Queensland has 4 major climate zones: the tropical, which is yellow, subtropical, which is blue, hot arid, which is pink, and the warm temperate, which is marked here in green. However, some areas have their own microclimates, and each area has its own issues such as drainage, etc. I bring this up specifically because I currently live in Wamuran, which I don't know if you know, it's just down the road here, just above Caboolture. And I have lived in Ipswich, and I can tell you that the temperature at 5 o'clock this morning in Wamuran was not subtropical. It was quite chilly, and I would go as far as to say that we're currently in a microclimate of warm temperate as opposed to subtropical. So, even though technically we are. So, let's just see if you guys are paying attention. This is a house across the road from where I used to live. Sounds a bit like the house that Jack built, doesn't it? So I'd like to critique this one if we could, to have a look for any issues that you guys can see that these people would have with their health. So if you want to just have a look on that one. What I'll do is I'll show you a quick cutaway diagram. This is where they used to live here, or this is where that house is. That picture was taken from Okay, now there's houses on both sides, up the north slope and up the south slope. And they continued sort of pretty much up here. It was quite a steep angle. And it was very shady in that particular area, which was great in summer. Slightly less great when you could see the rain coming down. So if anybody would like to think of any potential health issues that these people in that house would have. Alan? No, nobody's got anything?
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, yes, very good one. Mould issues is another one. Yes. Yes, the house that we actually lived in was, I don't think it actually got any sun in the winter, or it didn't feel like it. I was going to take you back to the picture before. There you go. And that's a picture of the actual, any other issues?
Flooding.
Flooding. Lack of ventilation was the one I was looking for. Those are all huge issues for the health of somebody in their house. So anybody got any ideas on what they would put in that situation? Any particular thoughts? Would you put a house like that there? Would you build it differently? Getting lots of nods there, that's great.
Yeah, it's change the roof.
Excellent roof line.
More windows, bigger windows.
Bigger windows. Anybody want to put lots of drainage in? Pole home? Make a fire? Excellent. I'm a tree-hugging hippie. We're not supposed to cut down trees. But yeah, they could be managed a bit more effectively so that some did get in. All right, while you're in the critiquing mood, I hope none of you have actually drawn this house because I'm going to critique this one next. But anybody want to have a look at this one and give me a rough idea on whether you like it, you hate it, you got any potential issues with this one?
Depends where it's built.
Which way's north?
Depends where it's built. Facing north. We had a cross breeze. Ventilation. Nothing from anybody else? Obviously we can't see the roof line on this.
Yeah, it's okay.
The two major issues that I have with this one is that the walk-in road leads directly into the ensuite. And walk-in roads don't usually have any ventilation, and this one certainly doesn't. All good airflow, and in this design you've got lots of still air and lots of clothes and probably shoes right next to a water source, which is probably very frequently used. In that bathroom you've got one window right above the toilet, which is quite small, and I personally don't like using those overhead exhaust vents when I'm in the shower because it sucks all the warm air out. So this would be really bad for me. So yeah, mould is a huge issue I would find in this particular house, so that's one of the reasons I wouldn't have it. The other one is, where do you put the power meter on this house? Power meters actually emit a very strong electromagnetic field of up to about 3 metres, and we tend to we recommend that people don't sleep within that 3 metres field because it can affect your sleep. There's potential fertility issues, there's growth issues if there's a kid involved. And basically, building biologists tend to recommend that any time that you're spending a significant amount of time within a 3 metre radius of a power meter, that's not good. So I don't like this house plan because there isn't anywhere that's safe, pretty much. So the best place in my recommendation would be to put the power meter on the very front fence if you can, or at least somewhere away from all of that. Incidentally, solar inverters have a similar feel to power meters. They're not a bad thing, they just need to be managed. So, as you can see, I've touched on this much, and we do so many different things, from what appliances are used, as they all have different sorts of EMFs, whether you use granite bench tops, as some granite can have radioactive emissions, whether you use steel or wood for the frame. If you're using wood, make sure that it's properly dried out before you enclose it, because otherwise you'll get mould inside the wall cavity. If you're using steel and it's recycled, make sure it doesn't come from China, because some of the recycled steel from China comes from radioactive places, and it can also be radioactive. What sort of insulation are you using? Does it have fire retardant in it? Because fire retardant can be toxic and has been known to kill children and small animals. What exhaust fans are you using, and are they vented to the outside of the house, or do they just go up into the ceiling cavity? Are you actually creating a mould problem in your ceiling cavity by venting up to there? We also have building materials rating charts where we can look at it and go, yes, that's a good material because it's got low embodied energy and it suits this environment. And obviously, horses for courses, you guys will know that. What I can do for you guys is, I'm not a drafter and I'm not an architect, but I do understand the principles of design and understand how it fits into this. So I could give you a mud map sketch and a basic design and say, okay, I think you should put this bit dug out here and this bit up here, and I would recommend gutters about this wide and lots of drainage. But you guys are the experts, and so I can recommend that, and I would certainly be recommending different materials. So in a mould prevalent area, I would probably recommend hardwood as opposed to softwood, because hardwood's actually naturally mould resistant. I've completely lost it, sorry. But I can't give you a proper plan with specs and such. But I can work with you and your clients to design a house which is not only environmentally friendly and all the rest of it, but it is healthy for the occupants. I've done a bit of project management, so I've seen how construction works. And my vision and mission is a poison-free planet, and I'd like to hope that we can all do that. I'd like to basically come up with a planet that we all can live in and be healthy. Questions? I know I haven't answered all your questions because I can still see blank faces.
So what do you actually do when you're proposing? The builder come to you with plans, so you want to run your eye over or something? What do you offer?
I can offer either a look after the... So if you come to me and you've said, I want to do a healthy design range, I can work with you to say, okay, this is what I would recommend here, here, here and here. This is the standard materials that I would use in that sort of scenario, so that you could say, okay, I've got a brick and tile home which I offer for this scenario, and a pole home which I offer for this scenario, etc. And yes, I could go through and make recommendations as to what materials and that sort of thing. I would also have a standard recommendation of orientation to put them on, but you guys would already know that anyway, so we'd probably just be going to tick that box. I'm happy to work with clients beforehand, so if you've got a client who says, I'm wanting a healthy home and I don't know how to do it, you can say, okay, talk to this person, or I can come in and be your consultant for them, and again, we can work through the whole thing. And we can start from scratch, which is, what sort of features do you need in your house? How many kids do you have? Where does Aunt Sally live? That sort of thing. So we can do that, and I can help out with the project management, but again, I don't want to tread on your toes because you guys know what you're doing. But I'm happy to consult as needed for that sort of thing. Does that make any sense? Sorry, Dave?
Yeah, you deal with VOCs and stuff like that, formaldehyde?
Yes, deal with VOCs and formaldehyde. Try to hopefully make sure that they don't come in. So yeah, I recommend to get rid of all of that. I do actually go in and help retrofit places and go in and help people after they've got headaches and such from VOCs and try and work out ways to fix that. But, yep, definitely. And you have one?
Yeah, you do testing for
I do testing for electromagnetic radiation. I didn't bring the toys with me tonight. I can test for the EMFs, which is slightly different, and also the radio frequency. So I actually have a little machine that goes out and tells you how close your tower is and whether you've got Wi-Fi happening as well. And power lines are a huge problem. I've actually got a video on my website. I went up to, there's a power line up between Palmwoods and Yamundi, and I actually went up there and basically was walking under it going, oh look, this is really high, look, it's 70. Geez, I feel sick. Why is that there? So yeah, I felt a bit silly because I'm basically holding an iPhone in one hand and a power thing in the other one going, okay, that's really, really high. Let me just stand here for a while. But yeah, the things we do, entertainment.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much, David.